to get started. I'm Deborah Donovan, Chair of the Data Governance Committee, present in the fourth floor boardroom in Jackson, Mississippi. This meeting of the Data Governance Committee is being held today, Thursday, February 29th, 2024 at 9 a.m. pursuant to Mississippi Code annotated section 25415 with some committee members present via teleconference. The notice of this meeting, including the date, time, place, and purpose, has been posted. An audio recording is being made of this meeting, and minutes of this meeting will be recorded. If we have any data owners that are attending virtually, please have your cameras turned on. All right, as I call the names of the voting committee members, please state the location of your presence, just city and state, for this meeting. Alan Burrow.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Joanne Malone.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Brett Robinson.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Amrita Tell. Jill Dent.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Marla Davis.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Judy Nelson. Scott Clemens.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Kristen Wynn. Donna Hales.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Tiffany Jefferson.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Letitia Johnson.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Chris Norwood.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Wendy Clemens.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Jennifer Boykin. Jackie Samsel.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Corey Murphy.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
Elizabeth Simmons.
Present, Jackson, Mississippi.
All right, a quorum of the committee is present at the location stated for conducting a meeting through teleconference means. First up, I have approval of the November 16th, 2023 minutes. Entertain a motion for approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Yes, Joanne, and I'll take Letitia as second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carry, oh, sorry, any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, next is the approval of the agenda for today's meeting, which you all should have a copy of. Entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve.
Donna, thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Marla, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, we'll get into our work group reports today. First up is the chair report. So as you know, our life has been MSIS 2.0 lately, working very hard with our vendors and the school districts. We conducted a series of roadshows in the past month. I went out to all the districts to talk about all of the data changes that are coming their way. I think the districts are really excited about what's coming forward. A little bit nervous, right? It's a big change. We talked a lot about some of the core data elements that will be changing for them. Big, hot topics were changes in some of the enrollment codes, the removal of our non-graded grades, like grades 56 and 58, and how that impacts how they do registration and enrollment for upcoming in the upcoming school year. Lots of great discussion about that. We're finalizing with our main vendors right now, so PowerSchool and Central Access, for all of the local student data. Finalizing, we've got student data coming in, we've got organization data coming in from them. Right now we're working on getting started on the scheduling data and then discipline data. So we're tightening up all of those specifications. So those are getting finalized. We're not going to ask the vendors to do any more changes than these kind of final specs that we're giving them right now for the school year 24-25. So we're starting to work on some of the other areas right now, like finance. Letitia's starting to get emails from me with, specific questions as we start working through these. Then we'll be reaching out with federal programs, CTE, special education. We're also working on our child nutrition data with the direct certification, getting all of that in place for things that we have. So lots of areas, and also assessment data. We've got the assessment data coming in, getting all that processed and into the new system. So lots of things in motion. And as you know, we're working on the course code updates, trying to get those out to districts as soon as possible for the updates for the upcoming school year. I know there's a lot of work going into that, and we'll hear from Wendy in a little bit on that progress. But we're really excited on working on a new course code catalog for the districts to be available on our website, and interactive dashboard to have that information as well, and as well, being able to highlight what's changed, what's new, what's been inactivated, or courses that we've discontinued. So lots of that information to come, and trying to get all that put together, as well as bringing in all of the related endorsement requirements for those courses as well, and making a really dynamic way for districts to view that data. So I know we're all working very hard to get that out as soon as possible. And then we'll also be working on our work area codes, because we've started talking with our personnel vendors across the state. So they'll be sending in data about staff and their employment and their assignments, which is what we refer to in MSIS, the current MSIS, as work area codes. So as an agency, those need a review by us as well to make sure that we have what we need. We can get rid of anything that's not been used in a long time or is no longer applicable. So that work is ahead of us as well. So, any questions? All right. Good deal. Next, I will ask Donna to share out from our data sharing agreement work group.
Morning. Since our November meeting, there have been 4 agreements that have been executed or extended. 2 of those are included are the ABCTE and the Teach for America that are in place for the annual performance reports that they complete. And then we extended the Mississippi State RCU agreement for the CTE department. And then we also extended the general agreement that we have in place with Mississippi State RCU for any case studies that are approved to be added. So that completes my report. There's nothing on the MOUs that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right. Moving into the next update from Wendy on our course code work group.
Thank you, Deborah. The course code work that we've been doing since our last meeting, I think in November, is mammoth. I mean, it's a big project, and I want to thank Lemuel Eubanks, who's sitting back here. I know many of you, Lemuel's been here for a number of years, but I know that in the last couple of months, you may have seen Lemuel running towards you with a computer in hand, because he is taking on the task of overseeing all of the departments and ensuring that we have the cleanest, most up-to-date data to share with our districts. Our state board, I believe last month, agreed to revise Policy 28.2, which has been in existence for many, many years, requiring the department to produce a course code manual. And so what we've done in the past is we've had an introduction to a manual, and then we've run a static course code list and put it on our website for districts to access. And so the moment that we run and we put that list on the website, it's obsolete. Any changes that are made in the system, they don't have access to. And so we asked the state board to stop requiring us to do a manual and use our MSIS data and access to help school districts identify course codes. And so in our last course code meeting, we talked about what that would look like and how those who have MSIS access will be able to filter for course codes. As a principal, I might want to know what AP opportunities exist or what dual credit opportunities exist. But I also may want to find out something specific to English or to the arts. And so we want the district personnel to have various opportunities to find courses, course codes, and all the information they need to provide their students what they of course need. We also talked about not every school personnel has access to MSIS. There may be a teacher who has a certain endorsement, and that teacher may want to find out, hey, with this endorsement, what all can I teach, And so very similar to Dr. Murphy and Mecca that's on their site where you can go in and search. We're going to have a feature like that online that really is accessible to anybody who goes to the MDE webpage. So it's going to be brilliant. Very user-friendly. It's going to provide information to the field that we've never provided before. It will not be antiquated. It will be on demand. So we're very excited about that. I want to thank several of you in here have been working in your offices to try to get us up-to-date information. And I want to thank you for the time because we understand we started this at the end of November. And so December, January, and February, it has been all hands on deck to try to get this done. Also, if you've ever been in a school, specifically in an administrative role, you know that right now they're trying to close out the current year, but plan for the upcoming year. And so the work has had to take precedence because administration need these codes in order to start planning for next year. And so even though we started with a deadline of the end of January, we had a second deadline the middle of February, and now our deadline is today. And the reason for that is not to drive you nuts, promise, but to try to get that information out to the field so they can, in fact, plan for the 24-25 school year. So that's kind of where we're at. We've made great strides, done a lot more than we thought we could in a short amount of time, but that's because of the work in your offices. And I think that when we're finished with all of this, we will really provide the district a service and information that is vital to them as well as our students. So thank you again for all your help. Thank you, Lemuel.
Yeah, I know that's been a big effort and a lot of things that really need to be cleaned up. And so I know we're making great progress on that. And I know I mentioned earlier that we have to do the same thing for work area codes coming up. So I just want to there's not nearly as many work area codes as there are course codes. So please don't panic. But you will be called on again to help out in those areas as well. Anybody else have anything to add?
Just have a question. So what program office will this information be located? You said for those who don't have access to MSIS, it will be on a website. So what program office will this information be located?
We haven't, that's a great question, Letitia. We really haven't come up with, quote, a landing page for it. Like with Dr. Murphy's, it's really around licensure, so it makes sense for it to be on licensures page. We are the Office of Secondary Education and CTE, but our course codes, and a majority of our course codes are secondary in nature. However, they're not uniquely secondary. So it might be a situation where we have to find a landing spot for it and then have ways to get to it from, say, the elementary page, secondary page. We'll just have to decide where it best fits. And we'll be working with OTSS. There may be somewhere on OTSS site that they want to house it, and then us communicate that to the field, And then I would assume work area codes would probably do something similar, and then where would that be housed, So I think that's something we got to decide. Once we get all of our data back to Deborah and she works with a vendor to sort it all out, then we'll be ready to put it on a landing page, and so we'll be discussing that. If anybody has any ideas, of course, feel free to come talk to me afterwards, or Deborah, or whomever.
No, well, we have a link to it on the OTSS page, but it primarily lives on secondary
Secondary.
education right now. And the course codes that are in there are really only the secondary course codes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we'd be happy to host it on the MSIS page on the OTSS. I think that probably makes a lot of sense, and then have links from everywhere else directing them back to that.
I agree.
All right. All right, next we have an action item to set dates for our future meetings. So we have proposed Wednesday, July 17th, and Wednesday, November 13th of 2024. Do I have a motion to approve these dates? Okay, thanks, Jill. Do I have a second?
Second, Joanne.
Any discussion?
Sorry, I just wanted to say that, it looks like that is going to be, not that it changes anything, but that's gonna be the week of our Miss Acne conference down on the coast. So I know that Brett and I will not be, quote, in attendance in person. If we're able to slip out during that time, we could possibly attend virtually.
Okay.
Is that the July or the November one?
July.
Anything else? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, now I will entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting today.
So move.
Thanks, Wednesday. Second?
Second.
Thanks, Joanne. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you all for joining us today.